Ladies and gentlemen, the Double RT Boxing Show, which hosts Mr. A shall begin shortly in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mel, welcome to the show. Welcome on to the show. I am the host of your show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. I am your host, Mr. A. We were going to shoot this episode of the Charlo Brothers pay-per-view review outside. But just doing the setup, it's pretty damn hot right here in Anaheim, California. So instead of, with the keeping the social distance and the inside the bubble here in our area, we got our makeup team, at home. The staff is limited, so therefore couldn't dry out the powder. Dry out the sweat. So we're doing the show inside due to the limited staffing for social distancing here in the bubble, right here in the Double RT Boxing Show. But we're still going to do the review of the Charlo Brothers pay-per-view right here, because we are boxing junkies. It is your show. I'm just the host. For the longest time, I couldn't think, okay, there's 5 fights. What's the 6th? What is the 6th fight? I could not remember Brandon Figueroa versus... I had to look it up, and I already forgot the fucking opponent's name. But that fight, we're going to start it with that fight. It was a put the young buck on a pay-per-view. We have a future planned out for Figueroa. Hopefully it happens, but right now we just putting him out there, and hey, why not get whatever we can from this Charlo pay-per-view. Eyes on him. Give him a nice softball. I don't really know. If that was a title fight, it has to be what his rankings was, his opponent. But he got him. It was, I couldn't remember the fight. It was really that type of. We move on to we talk about Luis Nery. Luis Nery getting his victory, and the WBC bantamweight champion, was it? Since this went from the interim, since Vargas fucking fractured his leg, now the champion. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought Luis Nery, when the first announced, like, hey, no, I'm just taking this fight, regardless if I win the interim or not, I'm gonna drop down, go back to whatever the weight it was. But now that it got bumped up and he did win the regular champion, I wonder he's still talking that same talk of, like, regardless, I'm just, this is an in-between fight. Now, and you wonder that because everyone's, as you saw that fight started to go in the last rounds, when his opponent did let his hands go, besides just the jab that they kept talking about, you wonder, the super bantamweight 122 title, WBC, Aaron Alameda, the number 6, Aaron Alameda, if he did let his hands go earlier in combinations, would he, considering they're saying Luis Nery went up in weight, maybe that's why he wants to go down. We saw what we're normally used to, the power wasn't working, or as I understand that concept. This is the Ready Talk Boxing Show, so of course we're going to talk every concept of the fight. I lean more towards working with Eddie Reynoso, working on shit, getting it done, especially with them saying he chose, again, this which is weird, but maybe they just, again, this was a title eliminator, but since it's already in contract, it got bumped up. Good for them, but I guess he chose to fight Alameda in his weight debut, new weight debut, and eventually, hey, WBC wants to get a contact with everything. They're like, hey, we'll put you as eliminator, ha ha ha. Opened their mouth, fucking Vargas fractures his leg. Hey, well, shit. I'm in the interim belt. Hey, make me a champion now. What you guys fight for? So, hey, go break a leg, open a door for somebody else. Type shit. So he chooses him because he says he wanted rounds. Therefore, he wanted to practice shit. So the Neri we saw, it wasn't pressuring him, wasn't throwing his normal double-handed power combinations. He didn't quite look normal, but I did like the feint. I did like the whole what it looked to be different Neri. The feint, I like that. I did like it when he did come behind the jab. But you wonder what if Homeboy put his hands together combinations. Will he have with that power? Remember, as much as a Neri fan I am, he makes you very hard to root for him with all his asterisks next to his name. Did he have advantages helping him at that lower weight that he had a strength and height and weight bully advantage? Without those advantages at a natural weight class, is he the same double-fisted power guy? Maybe that's what we saw. Was it new things? But anyway, I'm cool with the. I lean towards the. It's a little bit of doesn't have that weight bully. It's obvious. It's obvious. It's got to be a little bit of that. It's when you have advantage and you can use it, you feel the difference. If you don't have that advantage, it's just common sense. But I'm gonna go more with the new practice. I chose him for rounds. It looked like it, but we keep eyeballs on Luis Neri. Interesting at this champion, considering number 3, Daniel Roman. The Double RT Boxing Show, the other junkies who come inside and we talk our boxing amongst the circles. You heard me plenty of times confess my addiction for the Danny Roman show. I got addicted pretty bad. I went in and got a couple supplies of that DAZN for some Danny Roman. So, in the prediction of that fight, we predicted, we talked about it, I confessed it. That's going to be a hard-ass fight for Danny Roman against Payano. It's just kryptonite style for him. At the end, yes, I picked him to catch up and break the punch resistance body shot, which he got late with a left hook, which, everyone talks about. But that fight went exactly how I thought it would. Even though people might say Danny Roman looked like shit, he looked a little layoff-ish. But the Danny Roman style with a layoff is not a good mix. And Payano, like I said, going into that, we're like, dude, the footwork, he has the ability to put the footwork in and out with combinations, and it's Danny Roman's there for the picking. And it worked. It was there. The whole style was there. The whole fight was there. I did have Danny Roman winning that fight. I believe I had it like 115, 113. Up until like the 6th, 7th round, I kind of have it a tie, and it just Danny Roman. The whole fight was competitive rounds with Payano doing his thing like the first half of the fight, like the first 6 rounds. I think I had him up like 4-2 or 3-3. I'm not too sure, but like around 7 or 8, there was a tie fight, and I just had Danny slow all that competitive round work tired Payano out finally, and he edged it out like everyone pretty much. No one had an argument with that concept that he won the fight. I think there was like a high ass scorecard. I think it was I forgot. Was this the fight that had the 118, 110 or 118, 112 card? That was a little weird. I'm not sure if it was this fight. But yeah, this had to be the 12 round fight. Because other rounds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that fight. So, him being number 3, Luis Neri being a champion, PBC needs something in this weight class, and that's heavy. That's a nice little tie-over fight. That's why you went and got Danny Roman to lure him over. That's That's his style, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Danny Roman. He's entertaining. Um, it's funny. I'm trying to keep this video short, but I was sitting here thinking I'm a big fan of Danny Roman. I'm trying to think, how the hell did I get? How did my junkie ass get addicted to Danny Roman? Quick story. We're in season 6. During about season 2, I did a prediction video and a thought video. I forgot on the fighter, but the fighter himself was like, "Hey, thank you." You know, I think it was a draw or something, but my thoughts was I thought he won. So he was came in my comment section and said, "Hey, thank you for watching my fight. Thank you for supporting me. You know, and thank you for thinking I won." Blah blah blah. He left that in the comment section. Another fighter responded to him like, "Fuck you, bitch," and they start going off back and forth. Then a trainer joined in. They start going. He started going off at one of the fighters. Then one of the fighters was like, "Well, I whooped." Like somehow he's like, "Well, you can talk all your shit. I beat your ass." I think the guy who said thank you beat the guy who was talking shit, something like that. But then the guy who got his ass beat was like, "Well, so what? My homeboy so and so whooped your ass." And the guy's like, "Well, shit, dude, so and so, that's okay. I got my ass whooped by so and so. You know, he's a quality fighter." And so and so, homeboy's friend was Danny Roman. My friend Danny Roman whooped your ass out. They were going at it back and forth for a while. So finally, I seen in the up and coming schedule in Box Rec, you know, seeing what fights to make, what for talk about. I see the name Danny Roman. I was like, "Oh shit, the ass kicker." So I watched him, and I was like, "Oh man, I like him. I like him. You know, he's dangerous. He's on the edge of you never know." But that's how I became a Danny Roman fan. Moving on, uh, headliner Jumal, was it Jumal versus Devonchenko? You know, good fight. Um, I really thought he was gonna get like a 10th, 11th round knockout. I really did. I really. That's the only thing that didn't happen in the fight that I thought was gonna happen. I thought he was just gonna eventually uh, let him run into too much shit and just wear him out and knock him out in the 10th, 11th. He wobbled him a few times, caught him, caught him with some uppercuts. I thought he was gonna do more step back uppercuts, bolo to the stomach, but you know, Devonchenko's pretty good with his footwork and distance. I really don't have any problems or anything to talk about. He worked it when he did do the outside distance, keeping him on the jab. It was a good controlling fight. Popped him. I guess what everyone's talking about, how he had a more successful outing minus the knockdowns than Jacobs and Triple G. And like I said, since this is the Double RT Boxing Show where junkies we talk, we will add in and talk about it. Did he have a better thing? How did he look in those fights? What was happening in those fights? Okay, he lost to Jacobs. He lost to Triple G. And then Jacobs. I mean, then he beat Hogan, and he beat. Fuck, I don't know. Who sounds like would be the fresher man? You know what I mean? You beat Hogan and somebody. No knock. You did what you had to do, but just you know, through the road in the playoff, through the road in the Super Bowl, you beat who you beat. You know, like, hey, you got him at the right time, perhaps. You know, quarterback played a hard ass defense. The running back's a little sore. He got sacked against his number one rush, or you played the number. You know what I mean? Just hey, who sounds like be the fresher man, Charlo or Devonchenko? Maybe Devon. Hey, we both had a year layoff. What's your argument, Mr.A? Just talking. The Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. We're junkies. We're talking. But I am on the side of hey, yeah, it was a more dominant controlling factor, less fear factor, for less risk. of something damaging happening. I would say if I was Charlo in that fight, as you can see, it looked like Jacobs and Triple G knew they were like, oh shit. Even though Charlo knew Technician was good, he never really looked like he was under the duress that Jacobs and Triple G looked like they were under mentally and physically shown on their face that during their bouts. So that's the only thing you can really say is in that fight. Was it a dominant one? Obviously he did what what we always wanted him to do. Best opponent, but hey, since this is the Ready Talk Boxing Show, we talking. Did he beat top 5? Did he beat top 5 A squad? Did he beat top 5 B squad? As you know, that's what we talk about in the RT Boxing Show. Why do a whole fucking top 10? You know, cut the top 10. That's the B squad. Number 5 is 5 to 10 is the B squad. Top 5 of the B squad. Where is Derenchenko? That's a whole nother talk. Is he bottomless top 5A squad, or is he high squad B squad? We could talk about that, but Charlo did what was asked of him. Get a good opponent. Hey, Derenchenko, people were happy. Did it competitively easy to me. Moving on to what was the opening bout of the next fight, or just kind of mixing up the opening bout, trying to go in a 3-fight order. Jose Casimiro, I think that's his name, or Joel Casimiro, taking on Duca, Micah Duca. Close enough. I know I might have got that a little wrong. I wish I would have got these breakdowns out. I wish I would have got them out. But I gotta admit, not only am I a boxing junkie, so you can understand, junkies, we fuck around, we do stupid shit. I am also a junkie of this little gadget, if you guys know what that is. So I was stuck in the corner somewhere, doing that. So it's like, I watched the fights, but, this Casimiro, where is he at, man? I knew he wasn't gonna lose this fight, but since we do talk the talk, and the reason why I knew he wasn't gonna lose this fight is for the fact that Duca just didn't have the timing. He was a little bit slow for Jonrel Casimiro. That dude is going to put you under pressure. That dude is going to try and knock your fucking head off. His go-to shit is the footwork, hop over with the bolo shot as you duck down. He'll throw the jab out. He'll throw a left hook out to make you duck to your right. To your left, like like Mayweather, his style, for instance. Everyone knows he's easy to describe because everyone knows, and they can recall it in their brain. Yeah, he ducked to his right. It was like that was his thing. So, Casimiro, his go-to bread is fucking to force your duck left, and he'll sidestep you, and he'll try and bolo it. It worked with Zolani Tete. It worked perfectly for Zolani Tete, but you watch his fights, that's his thing. That's his thing. In order for you to, the RT Boxing Show, Mr.A's thoughts, this is what my prediction bout was going to be. In order for anyone to beat Jonrel, you got to make him use his legs and not his feet, if that makes sense. His feet keeps him in and out, setting you up for that duck. He'll jab you, hook you, ghost punch you, and try and make you duck left. And that's his footwork, fitting you, setting you all up for that. You need to take away his feet and put pressure on him so he doesn't have that real estate to play with. If you push him back and make him use his legs to spin you around, go back to the center and start over, he can fight, but he's not the same fighter setting you up with what he's comfortable with. Put him back, and he's not as threatening. He's gonna come with combinations, but his whole got you watching what he's doing, putting you to sleep, and all of a sudden sidestepping you with a bolo punch. The setup is gone. So and then this is where I didn't think Duka had a chance with that strategy of the footwork and the pressure of beating him, making him push him backwards. It could be done behind a hard doubles, triple jab, work him inside. You got to push him back. It could be done, but what I thought Duka could, if we're going to give everyone a chance, what I thought his chance was going to be was John Real, during his whole offense, he has the bow and arrow release. He will, during his sleeping feint work, he will bow and arrow release, and you can pop him straight down the middle. And I thought that's where Duka was going to catch him with the powerful 1-2, 1-2. You saw some moments of it, but eventually John Real got his ass. It was just too much. But anyway, like I said, that is that. And then we move on to we talked about that. We talked about the Figueroa. We talked about Figueroa, Neri, Charlo. Roman. What was the next fight? What's the fifth fight? We got Charlo. The fifth fight. What was that fifth fight? Who are we skipping here? The first card was Real, Roman. Oh, that's everyone. That's all the fights. We did Romero, Roman, Charlo. We did Figueroa, Neri, and then now we got the main event. Howard, the end is what everyone's talking about. The nice, obviously it was the power, the hook to the top of the temple clearly wasn't recovered from that shit. But the body shot was almost, even though yes it was a body shot, I compared to just zapped out finish. The last time I seen something like that, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it wasn't to the body, but I seen someone fall like, oh shit, done. Hurt bad from a jab was Yard and Kovalev. Kovalev threw almost like a defensive type, keep your distance away from me jab, and it was 11th round, but you can say with the shot that Rosario was recovering from, his physically mind state could have been like Yard in that 11th round, where Yard was exhausted and, he was beat up pretty good too. Maybe that's where that shot in the 6th or whatever 7th round it was, him went into the next round on that comparison streak. It was a beautiful setup, faded upstairs, came down with a nice hard gut shot. What was beautiful about it, there's been plenty of times, this pay-per-view was nice, plenty of times I confessed in the circles who some of my favorite addictions are, and what my favorite addiction about the sport is: the body stab jab. I love that. And to see unexpectedly Charlo do it, they're like, oh wow, that was definitely a nice little finish. I like that. That's my favorite punch in boxing. I like that a lot. I like that. So what was this fight? Was it a dominating fight? Was it a crown achieving fight? Was it legacy opening fight? It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Do you talk just for the 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 belts? Do you talk about that? You immediately you got the 3 belts, so you get it. However, you got it. You get the story. Crawford beat Ndongo. Can anyone name who Ndongo beat for those 2 belts? But You talk that Crawford, it was the undisputed champion. Do Crawford gets love, hate for it? There's some people who say he beat Ndongo. There's some people out there who know who Ndongo beat for those two belts. And then, as far as Charlo beating Rosario, there's an asterisk down this road. We know the road. He been touched up by Gallimore. He beat Williams. Williams beat Hurd. Hurd fucking asterisk with Lara. But that's been a hopping belt. The belt only stayed warm when it was with Laura. Kind of Laura. Hey, like I said, that's my fighter. That's my junkie addiction. So I'm gonna defend it. I will mention it. I will mention it. That belt never had a rematch to it. Hurd never gave Laura a rematch. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it never happened. Never. I get it. Have a touch-up fight. You know, and then perhaps get a rematch. It's not like, okay, let me get a. It's not like Hurd wins and no, let me get a touch-up fight. Then let me fight Charlo. Okay, we see what you're doing, but no, that didn't happen. So, is Charlo the best at the class? Is what I'm saying. Yes, he has 3 belts. Is that a determining factor of him being the king of that division? I will say if that's a 50-50 division, which a lot of people say 154 is a stacked division and some 50-50 fights in there, I guess you would say, as he's not the best boxer in that division, we've seen Harrison get the best of him. We've seen Johnson, I think it was his name, get the best of him for a wee bit. So we've seen him being able to outbox, but we've seen his power and his hooks, So you can probably say he's probably the best puncher boxer in the division. If this is a 50-50 division, you probably got to lean towards Charlo. Whether it's 51%, whether it's 60%, whether it's 75%, he probably gets the most needle movement in his favor if you're not going to say he's the king of the division. I know I'm going to say I still think Lara could get him, but as that fight takes longer to progress, I know he has a chance to crack the shit out of Laura if he placed the hook where Laura's going and not where Laura's at. I know he has the hand speed to the fight. Laura's only going to be getting older. Hate to say it, that's my fighter, but hey, shit. We know how boxing goes. But as a boxer, that might be the style. Tim Tszyu, from what I've seen, I think he can be shockingly. I think he has the legs to pull it off, in and out, use the ring. Like I said, we're just talking 50-50 division. We've seen Tony Harrison could do it, move around the ring and pressure him. I think Tim Tszyu can apply that style with harder hits. I do. And that's, okay, we'll do this real quick. We're about to hit 30 minutes, and I didn't want to do it that long, but we did because we're junkies. WBC, I see number 7, Tim Tszyu with the movement. He has his best chance. Harrison, we've seen at number 3. Sergio Garcia, he has nice movement, but I think he won't have the power to be aggressive when he needs to, and eventually will get caught. Liam Smith would be interesting at number 11. I think he'll just go at him the best he can and get knocked out. Kell Brook, easy money, I think. Easy money. That's the WBC. WBA, Isdral Madrov. I think he'll get knocked out just for trying too hard. That's number 1. Tim Tszyu at number 11. Gachet number 6. Dubin 4. Williams number 3 would be interesting. Him and Williams, that's a 50-50 fight. That's one of those 50-50 fights. Like I said, so far, Jamonte Clark number 13. Anthony Fowler, Chris Algieri. Damn, Chris Algieri, number 15 at 154 WBA. Okay. Like I said, no needle movers in the opponent's direction. So yeah, you just on being the best puncher boxer, he might be not just belts alone the favorite here. Um, IBF. I used to, like I said, if there's anyone we're gonna talk with a chance to upset, because he will be an upset if they beat Charlo most likely. This is the IBF. Tim Tszyu at number 4, Hurd at number 3. We don't know if Hurd can adapt to this new movement style that he was trying to do. Perhaps if he could do Joshua Ruiz, perhaps. You know, he's long, tall. He should have that. Not fucking knocking him like a Larry Holmes jab, but he should have a nice. He should have custom with a new trainer by now to a nice shotgun pole jab with a movement. You know, Hurd with that size, he should hope. You know, if he adapted to what they were trying to change him into, be interesting. And with his old school style banging with Charlo when he needs to in the inside, dangerous. He's number 3. Tim Tszyu at number 4, who I think can do it. Metcalf at number 5. Cheeseman at number 6. That'll be interesting. I think Cheeseman will be interesting. I think he has the movement. I think he has the boxing IQ, and the punch selection to fire him off and get out. But where I'm iffy on him is when he gets out, sometimes he drops his hands and he gets out with his low guard or his head there. And Charlo will hook him on the way out, and I think that's how the fight will end. You know, getting tired mid-rounds, backing down with your hands down, get hooked the fuck out. That's about it on that 15. Number 15 is not even rated, it's empty. The WBO champions, Teixeira, I think he beats him. He'll be interesting, though, because I think he will try the format. He has the tools to move and box from the outside, and a nice 1-2 down the middle to trouble Charlo. He has the tools. I will give him a better chance than what I think most people will. What does he have? The legs? Because you don't really need the legs if he has the feet to take the right steps. You know, to do the off-angle fire. Because you can't let Charlo just come at you. You got to turn him slightly. It doesn't got to be big turns. You just got to turn him and get him frustrated. You're not running. You're moving. You get him in his head. You know what I mean? So the champion, I think, there's a Brian Castellano. That's the only one, number 1. If there's any argument who I'm going to say that Charlo is not the best in the division, I'm going to go with Brian Castellano. If it's not my boy Laura, of course. He has the footwork, the speed, the firepower, the in-tight defense to bang with Charlo. That'd be interesting. He has like the grit that Charlo has. I'm not going to be punked in the ring type mentality. That's ooh. I will right now. I'm going to say Castellano. But see, I don't know. Charlo could just put it on. That's definitely 50-50. But like I said, if there's an argument who is the best, if it's not Charlo, I'm going to lean with Castellano. He's number 1. Tim Tszyu, number 2. Liam Smith, number 3. Hurd, 4. The IBF mandatory, I believe it was. Who is? Yes, Backroom Mertalev. I'm pretty sure that's who Charlo might fight next. That IBF mandatory. If he can't fit in if he can't fit in a voluntary defense. There's Jeff Horn still at number 15. He'll fuck Jeff Horn up. Carlos Ocampos can't fucking his lazy ass don't want to make weight at 147, so he's number 13 for the IBF. I mean WBO, lazy ass Carlos Campos. If Charlo wanted to make some, like, of course there's a pandemic, but if he wanted to make some fucking, this is a long ass video. I wonder who's actually gonna watch this. Probably no one, but there's some easy around the world money for him. There's fucking Anthony Fowler, Kell Brook over in England, Jack Couclet, Sergio Garcia over in Germany. While we're having empty arenas over here, he could fight two people from two different countries with a nice crowd. The Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Thank you for your time.